So I wanted to do a book review, and this one is really interesting because it's called Midnight, and it has it's a romance book, and it has four short stories in it, and each are probably about 100 pages long. So I'm going to read a little bit from the front because it says in the front, four short stories of otherworldly passion. But, like I said in my last book review, about, the last book that I read, I'm kind of a spiritual person and everything, so this doesn't have to do with, tarot or any, like, really strict religion, but it has to do with, the guy in the book, in each of the stories, being the, kind of a spiritual creature or something like that, or a gargoyle or a dragon or a werewolf or, something like that. Okay, so I will read, I'm going to read the summary on the back to you. Handsome and sensual, surrounded by an aura of danger, mystery, and the forbidden, a lover steps from the shadows. Is he mortal? Or is he an ancient god, a sorcerer, or a mythical beast who can possess a woman's heart and her very soul? Four of romance's most popular authors have made the spell-binding collection of stories filled with dark passion and desire. Under the covers of darkness, their heroes are in the worlds haunted by ageless hungers and deadly forces stronger than any seen by day, and vanquished only by the power of love. Now travel into realms where dazzling wonders roam the night, where magic replaces reason, and where a kiss unleashes raging fire in the blood. Here, if you dare, discover the seduction that begins at the bewitching hour when a man and a woman are together. Okay, so like I said, this is like one book, and it has four different stories in it by four different authors. And so the first one it was called Darkfest, and it's written by Amanda Ashley, and I'm going to read off the paragraph that they have in the book and explain the summary of it. The price of saving her dying mom is Shauna's promise to spend a year in the castle of the tormented nobleman Lord Darkfest, to obey him as his servant, or as his secrets are revealed, to become his salvation and her own. So I'm going to give, of course, mostly the full summary, and just kind of give my opinion, because I'm kind of in the middle of the whole book right now, and I just finished this weekend that first story called Darkfest, and I just finished it this weekend, so I'm kind of giving my personal take on it. So it starts out in Scotland, and the girl in the book is 22-year-old Shauna Leigh. She's 22, she's blonde, and she lives with her parents. And the guy in the story, Darkfest, is his name is Darkfest. So he is he's kind of like a werewolf. He's some sort of like a spiritual creature, and he's like 300 years old, and he's never dated, never done anything with a woman at all, because that's just not part of his human nature. And also because people are so scared of him. But like all his life, for the last 10 years, he's been completely in love with Shauna, even though he doesn't know her that well, and he can't really get to know her that well, because nobody gets to know him because they're all so scared of him. And Shanna is taking care of her mom, and she lives with her parents, and one thing that she does is she comes out every night and she sings for an hour in front of the whole city, and that's the part that Darkfest really likes. So in the beginning of this story, Darkfest, I should let you know that Shanna has, she's 22 and she wants to get married and have a baby and everything, but she has this boy that she's kind of seeing, but she's really not, into him that much, and his name is Ron. And he asked her to get married to him, and she says, okay, even though they've only had one kiss, and she really doesn't have deep feelings for him. And at first she's like, no, I don't want to get married to you. And then he's like, well, you should get married to me, Shanna. And then after we're married a while, then you'll really fall in love with me. And she says, well, okay, so they get engaged, and then, but this guy, Darkfest, I think that's kind of when he kind of realizes that he needs to do something because he doesn't want to get her married to somebody else. And, this is the beginning of the book, so far, because she doesn't really know who he is. Nobody can get to know him because they're all so scared of him. He disguises himself every day. He's been disguising himself as a werewolf, and then kind of hanging out with her kind of in the afternoons. So he goes down into the village, and her mom is really sick. Shanna's mom is dying, so Darkfest goes down into the village one day, and he says, well, if you want to make your mom better again, marry me. And of course she doesn't really want to do it, and nobody wants her to do it because they're all so scared of him. And he says, well, okay, then you can marry me for 1 year, and after 1 year you can leave. And she says, okay, so Darkfest makes her mom a lot better, makes her mom so she's not sick anymore. And then some interesting stuff happens, and he's just so talented and everything. And at the beginning, she's still not really into him and everything, and he can, it's either, he knows everything, because he's basically like a god, and he knows how to do everything. He either really knows how to do everything, and he's been doing it for 300 years, or if he doesn't know how to do it, then he kind of has, his own magic, and he takes her back to his castle and everything, and she kind of has mixed feelings about it, but it's a beautiful castle, and with a snap of the fingers he does some sort of silly magic in the story and everything like that. And he has a fireplace, and then he can snap his fingers and make her breakfast or snap his fingers, and there's candles lit and everything, and then there's a lot of adventure, so if you like romance, it's good, and fantasy, it's good. So there's a lot of adventure in this story called Darkfest. One interesting thing like that is that her ex, Ron, comes looking for her, but like I said in the beginning of this book review, she's not madly in love with him. And so Darkfest turns him into a frog and makes him go away. And then there's more adventure. Darkfest and Shanna end up having to battle a dragon. So, there's a lot of adventure in this book. If you like fantasy, it's a really good book. If you like action, it's a really good book. If you like romance, it's a really good book. It's kind of a scary book, too. And there's some magic and some, some sex and spells and everything like that. And you will have to read the book, not only to see the adventure and catch up and see the danger, but you're also going to have to read the book to figure out if if Shanna ever falls in love with Darkfest.